Part 11, you guys. I now know that my boyfriend, who I've been with for several months, who I spend every single waking second with, has literally completely fabricated every single detail about himself. I know nothing about him. And as like lighthearted and like funny as I can make the story now, like I cannot explain to you like what I felt in that moment. It was genuinely the worst feeling I've ever felt in my entire life, because it was like I've never been obviously lied to in that way, but like I spend so much time with this person. He's my best friend. I'm in love with him. I am dating him. Like he's the closest person in the world to me, and he made himself up. And just like my nature, it's impossible for me to get rid of somebody. So I knew, like, obviously what I know, I have to break up with him, and I didn't want to. So I was like what the fuck do I do? I know that sounds so dumb coming out of my mouth now, but it was like I knew that if I had the conversation, I had to break up with him. So I was like, I wasn't even sure that I wanted to have I almost wanted to just like pretend I didn't know. Again, I was unmedicated. But I did text him and I said, listen to me. I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to tell me if there's anything that you've lied to me about at all. And he racked his brain for all of 5 minutes before he told me I had lied about my age. I am 22 years old. All that, and the only thing he wanted to admit to was that he lied about his age. Okay, part 12, get to the point. I confront him, obviously. I show up there the next day, and I'm like, listen to me. This is what I know. You need to explain yourself right fucking now. And when I tell you this man is so good at his job, you guys, because here's the thing. I'm here accusing a man of faking his mother's death, okay, with no hard evidence. I have evidence that he lied about like the conditions in which he grew up, but I'm not sure that she's alive. So I can't like with full confidence like come at him in that way. So I'm kind of hoping that he just like confesses, and he doesn't. He made me feel so fucking horrible for ever possibly accusing him of lying about something like that, because who would ever lie about something like that? And I felt so disgusting and so guilty, and I literally could not, I thought I was going crazy. And here's the thing. I grew up very poor, and obviously I had like drug addict parents and stuff, and like he knows that, and I've told him a lot about that. So it was like weird to me that he would lie about, like pretend to have grown up super rich. But I also know that like some people are like ashamed of the way that they grew up and stuff. So it's like, how am I really, I don't know why I'm making excuses for him right now. Like, why the fuck are you lying about how you grew up? Literally, why? For who? But I admit my fault. I stayed with him, okay? I stayed with him, and I know I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. Looking back on it now, I'm like, are you literally kidding? But I stayed with the man. But I still had my doubts, okay? Now, all of a sudden, I'm watching him differently. Every single thing that he says, I just assume is a lie. And we're fighting constantly about everything. I remember one night, he literally started hysterically sobbing because I said, as a joke, that Kid Rock was hot. All right, part 13, lucky for him, I want to go to bed soon. But I will spare you guys the details of how I found out that I was getting cheated on, okay? But boy, was I. Y'all have seen him. Like, was I wrong to think I didn't really have to worry about that? It's truly amazing what he was able to accomplish. But he was, in fact, cheating on me with so many people. Like, literally, and like I said, we spent every single second together. So if I, like, matched up the timelines, it would be like we were, like, laying in bed watching Bridgerton, and he'd be, like, sending a dick pic to somebody else. So that was something. And that is ultimately why we did break up. But what's interesting about that is we broke up because I accused him of cheating, and he couldn't believe I would ever have the nerve. He was fully cheating on me. Like, but can you believe that? Like, he broke up with me. Like, how embarrassing is that? I shouldn't even tell you that. But you guys know that story. I was a wreck. Did not handle that well. I was not doing well. It was a really, really rough time. All right, but it was only then that I had the confidence to bring the mom thing back up again. So we're on the phone, and I'm hysterically sobbing, and I'm asking him, how could you do this, blah, blah, blah. Do you need to be institutionalized, etc. And I ask him, also, why did you fake the death of your family? And of course, he denies it. And I then tell him, I've been talking to your mother. I had not been talking to his mother, but that got him. He finally admitted that he did, in fact, fake the death of his mom and his brother. His dad is dead. Not that that's a good thing, but there's 1 out of 3 that are dead. The rest are still kicking. So I guess it's like a positive. If you think about all his songs about how he like just wishes he could talk to his mom one more time, it's like, call her. Anyway, it has now been 2 years since we've broken up, and he had the nerve to post a TikTok today saying that I cannot let it go. And I just want to go on record and say, no fucking shit. Apparently his new song comes out on Friday, and the man will do anything to get a stream. So honestly, you guys, do him a service. He needs money for therapy. And if you take nothing else away from this story, just know that treating underlying mental health conditions is very important, because had I known what was wrong with me, I would have never gone near that man to begin with. There's a lot of people who ask me like, well, did his accent ever like go in and out? Like, did you ever notice that he like didn't have an accent? And truthfully, he never, almost never had the accent with only me, okay? Like, he would turn it on when my friends were around or when we're at dinner with people or whatever, and I was like, okay, slay. But like, you know, he's a performance artist, but I didn't really think that much of it because obviously like I'm American, and I just figured like he was like mirroring me. Sometimes if I felt like he was really being irrational, I would record our arguments because I'd like to show them to him the next day. He knew I did this, by the way. This is not illegal. And there's just nothing Australian about him. I'll let you be the judge.
It's uncomfortable. You can say it to fucking anyone else. You can go with Tana and say it. When I'm in that room, you don't. Because I'm saying it right now, I'm uncomfortable. You want to keep saying things I'm uncomfortable about? Keep going. I'm just going to be, like, weirded out. I'm going to be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Something I brought up to my girlfriend that I said was uncomfortable. She doesn't acknowledge it, nor respect that I am uncomfortable about it. And she doesn't want to stop saying it, even though it doesn't demoralize her personality or her value.
You literally
don't
even know what that means.
No, it doesn't demoralize your personality.
What are you even talking? What are you talking about?
Here we go. Turn off.
That is not what demoralize means.